beloved companion.
They are like my children.
The word I always use is love. You know, they just love you.
Garden tormentor.
Fresh vomit doesn't smell very nice. There it is.
Petting and purring.
It's definitely a maternal thing.
Prowling and fouling. Nuzzling and cuddling. Leaping and killing.
Cats are a major problem.
Britain's 10 million cats divide the nation.
It becomes a war. It's who can win.
If they start trying to shoot them or kill them, then I'll report them to the RSPCA.
Meet the cat feeders.
They're looking at my kitchen. I'm sorry, but I'll have to feed them.
And the cat feuders.
I think they're a danger to life.
I'm a cat lover and I don't care.
Oh dear.
One in 5 of us own a cat. There are those for whom one can never be enough. Silvana, 1 husband, 2 children, 50 cats.
My husband just says I'm a runaway train. I'm out of control. This is Kitten. This is Bruna. We've got blind little boy here. Oh! You know, the sweetness, the softness, the purring, the unconditional love they can give you. I think that's really what attracted me. They're not aggressive, they're not frightening. You know, they're just wonderful companions. They're just always there for you. You can almost read their minds, you know, sort of, when they're depressed, you sort of feel their depression. When they're happy, you feel their happiness. It's a feeling that they give you when you're holding them close, you're feeding them. It's definitely a maternal thing. They just love you unconditionally.
A passion for Felis sylvestris catus can get you a bit of a reputation.
What's this?
I think people at work call me the mad cat woman. I think they get a bad name because people are ignorant. You're not lonely when you've got a cat. I have no children, they are like my children. They've got their stroll, which they go out in the nice weather. And this is where I get the strange looks.
For some, cats are a love and a livelihood.
The cat has increased massively in popularity. In the Western world, it's now said that they are numerically the most popular companion animal. One of the things when we share our lives with other species, and particularly with the cat, is that we have to have mutual respect. And cats do roam, they do hunt, they have predatory behaviour, they mark their territory. Those behaviours are normal, they're natural behaviours, and that's part of being a cat. One thing that people very rarely have is an ambivalent attitude toward cats. They either love them or they hate them. It's a bit like Marmite.
You don't have to look so very far to find the other side of the Marmite equation. This is an idyll under siege, and this is a gardener driven to distraction. Joe's garden is his pride and joy, but he's not the only one drawn to its pleasures.
Well, we have at least 4 regular cats that plague me. There is a ginger one, there is a black one, there is a strange object with long woolly hair. Difficult to describe the colour. We see the wretched things every day. None of them like me. When they see me, they run for their lives. They come in to do their business and prey on the bird life, of course. And quite apart from that, they catch small mammals as well. Mice, voles in particular. They just enjoy killing things. A constant concern when the grandchildren come and want to play in the garden, lest they pick up toxoplasmosis from them, was they defecate all over the place.
Is it fair to say you're not the cat's biggest fan?
That's an understatement of the year. I'll show you where the cats do their business. I'm too afraid to go in there and look. For some reason, this is a favourite place. It's disgusting. Now, if I had been unfortunate enough not to see that and stood in it, and then went inside the house, the result would have been disgusting. Cats are perverse. They are alone to themselves. I honestly hate the wretched things.
Joe's not alone in his detestation, but help is on its way. Stand by for developments. It's not only the gardeners, it's also the twitchers. David and Glenna have made their garden into a birdwatcher's paradise.
Lots of chaffinches, lots of goldfinches, lots of greenfinches. Not so many siskins this year, only a few siskins. They're like greenfinches, but much smaller.
A good variety of garden birds that visit us, which we feed and we enjoy watching. And also the cats enjoy watching them.
There are at least 10 regular visitors to the garden, each one with a hungry glint in its green eyes.
You often find a pile of feathers or an odd bird leg up the garden or something that they've finished off.
Or open the door and you find 2 birds' feet, you know, on the doorstep. The rest of the bird's been eaten.
Yeah, every day they'll catch one. 10 years, 3,600 birds. Must be getting on that way.
They've done what they can to ward off the predators.
They wander around, and the one particular one underneath the main bird feeder, which we've got about 6 feet off the ground so the cats can't get it.
But you underestimate the domestic cat at your peril. Set up 24-hour cameras in the garden and you start to realise its abilities as a predator. The feeder is 6 times the cat's length above ground. It's an astonishing leap from a standing start, equivalent to you or I jumping 30-odd feet in the air. And it's a brutal end for the bird caught in the hunter's jaws.
Somebody said somewhere there are about 11 million cats in Britain. I don't know if that's true. It's not a natural situation to have 11 million animals wandering around killing things.
If you want an idea of the scale of the carnage, call in at any wildlife sanctuary. Cats kill around 55 million birds in Britain every year.
Most of the animals that come into us this time of year, it's basically down to cats. This little chap here, he had no feathers on him at all. Over here, more ducklings, with the mother being killed by cats. Probably about 80–85% of our admissions are down to cat attacks.
It's not only birds.
We're talking hundreds of baby birds, rabbits, hedgehogs, even fox cubs, you name it, anything wildlife-wise we tend to get in because it's been attacked by cats.
A week's victims from the freezer.
We've just kept some examples of what has happened, and bear in mind it's down to cat predation. This little squirrel here, she was pulled out of the nest. Baby rabbits, another squirrel, little mouse. This is the slow worm that the RSPCA brought in to us. Another little collar dove, you can see the wounds. More collar doves, little robin, baby pigeon and adult pigeon here. And this is just in the last week or so. I think a lot of owners don't really want to know. It's the sort of attitude where that's what he does. But there are things that you can do to change that. We owe it to future generations that we protect these species. I'd like cat owners to just take more responsibility for the actions of their cats. So keep your cat in at night. At the moment, cats are a major problem.
You need to remember that every cat is going to be an individual, and many cats are very proficient hunters. One common negative interpretation of natural cat behaviour is that they are in some way malicious in the way they kill, or even that they'll tease and taunt another species. What's important to remember is that hunger and hunting are separately controlled within the brain, so you don't have to be hungry. That means that you may start to hunt because you can't help yourself, because you're triggered to do that, And then you get partway through the process, but you're not actually hungry and you're not really interested in the prey. They are hunters. That is part of their natural behaviour. They are very well designed predatory machines.
Nestling in the West Midlands, there's a little oasis of immaculately maintained tranquility. Welcome to Beacon Heights and to its preserving guardians, the committee.
It's a private estate and you've got to be 55 or over to live there, semi-retired, and you've got to look after your garden.
If you look around at the gardens, you can see how proud everyone is of the little homes. They keep the homes beautifully decorated and the gardens immaculate. It's the way they look after them.
But the manicured order of Beacon Heights is under threat from a very particular and smelly form of anarchy.
Oh, there's all sorts of things you find in your garden. The stuff the cats pass is just disgusting. It don't just smell. And it makes you feel like throwing up.
The committee's daily patrols have become a dismal inspection of the invaders' foul deposits.
The cats come along here. One or two pigeons haven't been quick enough and the cats have killed them. And that's why they're always through here. It's a little bit of a rat run for them. Cat run, rat run, one of the two.
That looks pleasant stuff compared to some of the stuff we have to get up. And I mean, some of it's awful. Some more, some vomit there.
There's a pack of them, well in excess of 20.
A pack of feral cats are breeding on Beacon Heights. Their numbers are growing. They eat all kinds of rubbish and they're in poor health, so they tend to vomit everywhere.
I'm sick of clearing it up. And when they're sick, eating grass and are sick, that's even worse.
These are a damn nuisance. And you can imagine in another, couple of years' time, we're going to have an army of cats. I think somebody should do something about it.
I can whiff it, but this is where you get the problems. Wondering what you're going to come up against underneath all this soil. All the nice things the cats leave us. Hence, very thick gloves. It's like being a commando in training. You have to go through a system, then get dressed properly before you come out and do a bit of gardening. They're just gaining on us. And we don't want to go around killing them. We all like animals. But there comes a line where something's got to stop.
The committee has decided enough is enough. They're canvassing opinion for resolute action against their oppressors. Not every cat is a bird slaughterer or a vomiting feral lout. This is the home of Buster.
Okay, it's all right. See, it's an example, actually, of whenever anybody's in the house that he's not familiar with, he is so jumpy, he's so nervous, and he's just not happy anymore. So as you can see, he doesn't want to, what's that? He's very suspicious of every situation. I mean, without consciously hurting me, he's actually scratched me when I've tried to pick him up just because he's clambering to get away.
Buster's terrified in his own home. In the past, he's had trouble with the neighbour's cat. Buster lives here, and next door lives Ollie. He's a rather different sort of cat.
I think Ollie does go into some houses.
Do you?
I'm not being weird, but he smells a bit funny at the end of the day.
Ollie's owners say he may be a bit of a wanderer, but he's a gentleman.
In 6.5 years, I've never seen him be aggressive. Well, the lady at the cat rescue told me that he was brought in because he was fighting with the other cats in the house and that he'd been attacking the children in the house. But the lady at the cat rescue said she didn't believe that that was true because he had a lovely nature, and I could see that straight away.
Buster's not so sure.
Cats fight and they are territorial, but certainly Buster, I think, disproportionately comes home with scratches all over his nose, and you think, okay, and he's got chunks of fur removed, and it makes for a very unhappy cat at the end of the day. That's actually quite brave. That's quite unusual. But again, I notice as soon as he goes out, he's got to just check, is everything safe out here? He's been ambushed a few times when he's gone out of the cat flap and instantly come back in again. It became quite apparent fairly quickly that their cat was starting to use our cat flap. I don't believe that they've got one of their own. So as a deterrent, really, we decided we'll get an electronic cat flap, and that would kind of solve the problem.
Buster's owners have installed a new whiz-bang cat flap to keep other cats out. It only opens when it senses Buster's microchip.
In theory, any other cat in the neighbourhood that tries to get in, they'll just hit a brick wall. That's the theory anyway.
But Annie has a lurking suspicion that strangers are still sneaking through the cat flap. There are noises in the dark of the night.
We've been asleep, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Our cat's been on the bottom of the bed, curled up, quite happy. And then I can hear the pitter-patter of feet. Well, first of all, I will hear some of the cat food in the kitchen being eaten. And then I hear perhaps a floorboard creak. I know it's not an intruder, but I know it's probably the cat.
Ollie's owners say he's an innocent man. There's no way he'd eat another cat's food because...
When we first got him, we didn't realise that he had 1 or 2 medical issues. Cat meat made him sick, quite violently sick, so he's been put on a prescription diet.
I think people would notice if he was eating normal cat food.
Maybe it's our own frustration, but it's almost as if he's poking his tongue out to us, really, from a distance. He'll look at us and know that we can't get anywhere near him, and if we could, well, what could we do?
Today, Annie's particularly anxious. The family are going away on holiday and poor nervous Buster will be home alone.
It's always in the back of my mind about how we manage to look after Buster. We've got my daughter coming to feed him twice a day and just keeping a good old check on the house. I'll probably ring home a couple of times, my first words will be, how's the cat, where's the cat? There's not an awful lot I can do about that, really. So it upsets me, if I'm honest.
The house should be secure. Buster should be safe in his own home with no other cat able to get in. While Anne is away, cameras will record what's really causing things to go bump in the night. For some people, cat wars are great news, offering a lucrative opportunity to sell all sorts of gadgetry.
Cats bring huge amount of love to families, children, elderly, people on their own, lonely people. And then you've got another extreme that people absolutely detest them.
There are owls, there are prongs, there are ultrasonic scarers. Then there are more do-it-yourself approaches.
We even had one customer phone up. He's read up that cats urinate around to mark their territory. As this battle that's gone on, he actually goes around his garden urinating. It's to show the cat who's the boss here. He doesn't use his toilet indoors. I guess that saves on having to flush the toilet. But he's outside urinating everywhere. So, I would not really want to go for a barbecue around there.
Dave's a cat lover and has a cat of his own called Pie.
Our products that we sell don't really hurt the cats. They just stop the cats coming near to someone's house, so the cats will then just move somewhere else. Put that into the ground, pointing towards the area we want to protect. That's now audible to humans. That's about 15 kilohertz. I'll release it. It's still working, but it's taken the sound emitted up to over 20 kilohertz, so it's now ultrasonic. Humans can't hear it, but cats can. And it just irritates the cat, and it will move to another area.
Next, one of Pie's least favourite devices.
Instead of emitting a burst of ultrasound, it actually emits a burst of water. Again, it's triggered by the PIR sensor, works 24 hours a day. As it gets nearer and nearer, it will then trigger it and it sends the burst of water into the zone that's protected. Latest innovation, well, it's going to work for cats and also birds, but we call it Boo Man. It's an inflatable scarecrow. Here we can see the Boo Man is now sleeping. I'm going to pretend I'm the cat, and I'm going to walk past the sensor, and hopefully it will pick up my movement and trigger the Boo Man. It's like the ultimate deterrent.
So we sent Dave the cat gadget man to Somerset to meet cat-pestered Joe.
Hello there, is that Joe?
This is Joe, yes.
Joe, pleased to meet you. I'm David. Would you say it's more in there where the soft sandy soil is, or actually on the lawn area, or both the same?
It's more readily observable around here. Okay. Another regular place, which they haven't used recently, is that area of grass, the other side of the drive.
On the lawn there, OK. Look, there's a cat. Look at that. It's as if they know I'm here.
If I was by myself, they would flee, because they know I was going to...
They recognise you now, do they?
Dave is about to transform the garden into an impregnable fortress, using every trick in his boot.
You could use both of them, pointing in this direction here. So I'm just going to switch that on. Those batteries will last a couple of months. Right, we're ready, Joe. You can switch it on. Like a cat, Joe. Stealth. Oh, yes. Did it get you?
It got me.
OK, I think that is set perfectly. Read about that. It tells you about cats.
I'll do that.
And there's some nice stuff in about how to learn to love them.
Oh.
Hopefully, you know, we've made a step in the right direction with Joe. He's got a couple of toys he can play with and he can have a bit of fun. I don't think the cats will be too bothered. They'll just move elsewhere. The problems are too deep-rooted. You can't solve that problem. There's nothing I could do. I would love to. If he was willing, I would buy him a cat as a companionship. In later life, you never know, but I suspect not.
Well, I'm quite impressed at the moment.
Are you happier now, Joe, with things?
Yes, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Time will tell.
The Beacon Heights Committee have made their inquiries and made some unwelcome discoveries. Hidden among their ranks is a fifth column of cat sympathisers. Some even offer comfort, succour and food to the enemy.
Right, there's a cat here.
It's treason from a cat food box.
Hello there.
If you come about the cats.
Yeah, that's what we've come about.
Yeah. Well, I'm a cat lover and I don't care how many there is. I love cats and that's
lovely.
it.
Thanks for
and
your
I
input.
won't be cruel to them.
Right, lovely. That lady is rather passionate about it, isn't she? About the cats. She loves them.
We haven't got no mice and I don't want mice. I'd rather have a cat.
Yeah, but we've got to set away.
Oh dear. It's their choice, it's our choice. They know we like cats, they know we feed them. You know?
Just sell my bowl out and try. No, I'd feed them as long as they're here. And I don't care what the others do. If they don't like them, we can't make them like them.
The committee are all right, they've got their views and everybody's entitled to the views, like, you know, it's like, I think most of the committee are of the same opinion as far as the cat thing goes. But, you know, you can't just agree with them for the sake of agreeing with them, like, you know, we've got no problem with the cats, they seem to have a problem with the cats.
Because they go in their garden. And they don't come in mine. I think it's because I feed them.
It's all a bit discombobulating for the committee.
If you love animals, you're going to feed them. You can't. I'm not going to say I'll blame anybody for feeding them. It's very kind of them, but it's actually just simply not helping the situation.
Faced with the committee's stern disapproval, some residents have resorted to secret feeding at the crack of dawn.
If people complain about them, you can't do much about it. There's 4 now that comes outside the door. You've got to be a cat person to like them.
I mean, a lot of people have had dogs all their lives, so they don't like cats.
Yeah.
And it's the other way around with a lot of... I mean, I always like cats, but I've never heard many people on here say they like cats.
No, I haven't. I haven't. You mustn't feed them, but...
You can't help it.
No.
Well, I can't anyhow. But
Yeah, but you're not the one that goes out and puts the dish at
no, you're
6:30.
the one that gets up on the morning early and goes out.
There are at least 1.5 million feral cats in Britain, and in Beacon Heights they've found some willing, if secretive, collaborators.
About last year, we did put a letter round asking every resident to let us know if they objected to having those wild cats removed. And we said, let us know as soon as possible. If we don't hear anything, we will take action on your behalf. And we had no replies. But it seems that perhaps one or two should have done.
Beacon Heights is divided between the feeders and the furious. The committee is calling a meeting to straighten things out once and for all. Fur may fly. Southampton, dead of night. Buster's first night on his own. Just past midnight, a face appears at the microchipped cat flap. Yes, it's Ollie. It should keep him out, but he's cunningly worked out a way round the one-way flap. He eases his claws round the side, and instead of trying to push through it, he pulls it towards himself. You have to hand it to him. It's resourceful. Using the same trick, he's then back at 1 a.m. In fact, the first 24 hours the family are away, Ollie comes in 10 times. It's as if he knows they're on holiday. While Buster is hardly seen. At Beacon Heights, it's the day of the straightener. 11 residents, small caravan, big differences.
Hello.
Oh yeah, right.
Morning.
Right.
All right. All right.
How is the cat?
Yeah.
We've got a cross section of people here that have got varying views on the cats. It's a problem. It's a day-to-day problem. I tried to cut my grass the other day, and I had to spend half an hour before I started just cleaning the mess off the lawns.
Do you think I think you're exaggerating there a bit.
Well,
he ain't.
Well, you know, how many cats have you got?
I went to feed the kittens the other night. I got 2 kittens.
Well, what are you feeding them for if you don't want
No,
them?
hang on, Wack, hang on. The reason I fed the 2 kittens, because I don't want them to snuff it, right?
Yeah.
So, I am adding a little bit to the problem, but I don't want to see them perish.
No.
Right? Now, what's happening now, because I'm feeding them, the word's are getting round, that's 5 there the other night.
Well, we feed them regularly.
I do.
Well, my wife feeds
You
them
won't
regularly.
now. I feed the cat. So you feed them, we have all the crap.
If we get 4, there's 4 that regularly come. We don't have any more than 4 down there.
No.
I see about a dozen.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm only telling you what I see. I don't know what you see. I'm telling you what I see.
Yeah, well, that's fair
I believe you. You believe me.
Okay, fair enough. But there must be about a dozen on here.
We don't get no stink. We get no sick on the lawn. Are you sure it's not their jogs or the foxes that are doing it? No. Okay.
Well, anybody that likes cats, I suggest take them into your property and keep them as a domestic pet.
They won't come.
They won't come in.
I've tried. They won't. They're feral cats.
Yeah. And I've never had a problem like this before. But you say you feed them, but they empty their stomachs in somebody else's garden.
They're just an absolute pain in the arse, they are. My garden, now I've dug it yesterday. I guarantee today and tomorrow it'll be dug up, the plants will be dug up, there'll be sick and mess everywhere.
I'll put something to you all now and see if I can get a sort of a general consensus of opinion. Right, the Cat Protection League have said to us they'll trap all the cats, they will take them away, they will neuter them all free of charge, but of course then the cats will have to be brought back.
That's just not a good deal, is it? I mean, it's nice that they're going to neuter them, but we've still got the muck machine.
Don't you think the first stage forward is what John suggested, to get the cats neutered? That's the first step on the ladder, isn't it?
Look, there's thousands of feral cats all over the place, isn't there?
Well, the only way you're going to get rid of them quick is destroying them. All right?
You still got to
tell me another answer if there isn't.
Well, I don't remember saying that.
No, but you want to get rid of them quick. We've just said, if we take them away and get them neutered, which I think everybody's in agreement with, right?
Got the muck machine.
Well, yeah, but at the moment we've got them reproducing and the
muck machine.
So let's get rid of the reproduction while we're waiting for the resolution to the muck and the spew and everything.
At least the start.
Get rid of one problem at a time.
Yeah, that's right. At least the start.
OK, folks, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you.
I'll see you around. Yeah, lovely seeing you.
It's a compromise, but a sensible one. Feral cats breed rapidly, so neutering will stabilise their numbers. The next step at Beacon Heights is to call in the trappers. Feral cats are actually an increasing problem in Britain.
Certainly because of the natural breeding behaviour of cats, it means that when you do get colonies with unneutered individuals, you can have a rapid rise in population. The health issues of a feral colony are very serious for the individuals. If there are undiagnosed gastrointestinal diseases, you may have levels of faecal deposits which are diarrheic in nature. That may be unpleasant for the people who find them. You may also get vomiting problems coming from cats who are unhealthy.
After a week of cat surveillance, it's clear that Ollie is using his impressive dexterity to make the neighbour's house his own 4 or 5 times a day. He's adopting an increasingly brazen swagger, confident he is the master in this house as well as his own. He's eating Buster's food with lip-smacking relish. Buster is a rarely sighted visitor. When he does show up, Ollie isn't far behind. Buster is quickly chased out by the invader, an exile from his own land.
Unfortunately, invasion of other people's property is not uncommon, so we do see quite large numbers of problems related to this. Try to get away from this idea that there's any kind of spite, or that the one that's doing the invasion is a nasty cat and the one that's at home is the nice one. It's not as simple as being one cat terrorising the other cat. The cat that's invading is looking out for itself and deciding there's something beneficial about being in this other property. That doesn't mean to say that it's not a serious issue for the resident cat, who may well be quite scared by what's going on.
2 weeks later, the trappers from Cat Protection roll on to Beacon Heights. Every year they neuter 170,000 cats, but the deal is they have to be returned to their home area and the locals have to look after them better.
You feed them on here? We feed them on here, yeah, that's what I'm feeding. Oh, that's brilliant.
I've just had one here for 20 minutes.
There's just a feeling of anticipation now that something might be happening, which is a step in the right direction as well. If some like them and some don't, we stay in the middle of the road. Full stop.
The hungry cats of Beacon Heights are easy meat for the trappers.
Shame, what a bloody shame. I said that's a shame. I said I've got nobody to feed now, have I?
Now he's got 3 already, and counting. So here we go, Mackenzie. We're in business. We're looking on the good side now. Let's get this job done, and then we can all have some peaceful gardening.
Yeah, there's one there now, and there's one at the side of the bins.
Come on in, mate.
You know, everybody seems to be quite happy with what's happening, as long as they're not abused. Because, I mean, they didn't have to be here, like, you know. And cats.
Perhaps we should all cancel our holidays and stay at home for a week while they're away.
The cats will be back in a week's time, fresh from neutering. At Joe's house in Somerset, the deterrent devices stand sentinel over a garden unsullied by the attentions of the neighbourhood cats. Joe's mood is improving. Well, everything's relative.
Over the last 2 weeks, I haven't observed a single one crossing the patio, or even prowling about on the drive, making mischief. It was a daily occurrence, but now we hardly see them at all. It's great that I no longer have to go round with a spade to remove the evidence they have left of their presence. I think it has made a difference. May it long continue. So long as they keep away, I'll be very happy.
If they keep out of your garden, do you think you could learn to love them?
No, I could never love a cat.
Buster's owners are back after what turned out to be a tricky fortnight for him. Annie has certainly noticed a difference.
First thing I noticed, I was particularly struck when I picked him up how light he was. And just seemed really very anxious, particularly so, I have to say, more so than any other holiday I think we've been on.
And where is Buster now?
Well, he's the last 2 days, he's actually not been around. I'm a bit worried because I think he can't afford to lose too much weight, and one day perhaps he just won't come back.
Annie's still completely unaware of the frequency and audacity of Ollie's visits. So we showed the CCTV material to both households. The awful truth is about to be revealed.
That's the neighbour's cat.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's Ollie.
That shouldn't be possible. He shouldn't be able to go through there. Remarkable.
Oh, look what he's doing.
Oh, okay. So how's he doing that? All he did was
He pulled it towards him.
Oh, right.
Straight into the kitchen, straight to the food bowl. There we are.
That's exactly why he's going in there. Look, he's licking his lips. Oh, cheeky monkey.
Licking his chops. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This weekend he's been ill
He's been ill a couple of times.
because he can't eat normal cat food.
Now this is Buster, because look, the cat flaps come in the correct way.
He looks so frightened. He's got a look of terror all over his face. Can you imagine how horrible it feels if you're human and you've got an intruder in the house? Must feel the same for a cat, actually.
Poor little pussycat, look at him, he looks really frightened.
So why is Buster so nervous?
Because he knows Ollie's been in there. One, he can probably smell him, and two, he's probably seen him.
Oh no. God. Buster's just come in, and now the neighbour's cat's following him, lifting up the cat flap. And I'm wondering now whether this is one of the episodes when we've heard cat fights.
Oh dear.
Oh, damn. It's been terrorised.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, then they're both now in that room.
I think that was Ollie. Oh no, it wasn't, it was Buster. That's Ollie at the back.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's chased them out
Buster
of
was first, he was chasing him out.
his own house.
Yeah, because the second cat was all black along the back.
So we are sorry about that one.
Ollie, banged to rights. But little consolation to an owner worried sick about her frightened and now missing cat.
That actually quite upsets me. He's being pushed out of his own home. Buster's never going to be a lion. But I just want him to feel safe in his own home, that's all. It's not a lot to ask for, is it? The way I'm feeling at the moment, I'm thinking I would rather close the cat flap altogether, board the damn thing up, and just let Buster in and out the front door. We've got nice neighbours, we have no issue with them, and I wonder if I said something specifically, they might quite reasonably say, well, what can we do to resolve the problem? And I would hate to have conflict with them. You know, we don't currently. I'm not sure they fully understand the behaviour that's going on. And I suspect they'd probably be a little bit upset about that too, I imagine.
We didn't know he was able to be a cat burglar. We thought that once they got this new cat flap, that it couldn't be our cat because the cat flap would deal with it. We don't know what cats think, but I assume that if he can't get in for a few weeks, months, blocked off or whatever, maybe he'd give up on it. But that might be the way forward.
At that very moment, as if by magic, the refugee returns.
Guess who's in the front garden?
Is he? Oh, come on, man. Where you been? Come on. Hey, come on, man. Oh, it's all right. Come on. Have them all. Have the old packet. I just want to take him in and put him in a bedroom at the moment because he's so upset. Come on, come on. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Oh dear, he must be starving.
He's absolutely terrified, absolutely terrified. But what I do now is just try and keep him shut in. See where we go from there, really. Oh, it really does upset me, I have to say.
The cat flap is now boarded up, and Buster is steadily regaining his weight and peace of mind. At Beacon Heights, it's the day the cats come back. Some have been looking forward to this more than others.
Oh, we've all had holiday. It's been absolutely brilliant. We've been working in our garden now, nothing on our fingers, everything's wonderful. But now they've got to be educated, and that starts when they run away. But we'll be all right.
It's heartbreaking to see them in a cage there. Just waiting for them to be released now.
It'd be nice to see them back, keeping the mice down.
Started the race. Ready, go!
Come on, sweeties.
We're back track 4.
I think people will be more on side now. So it depends what if they start making a mess or something like that, you know. I must say, we haven't had any mess of them, so that's why we haven't bothered with them so much. Like, you know, we've not been bothered about them being here.
As part of the deal, the residents, cat lovers and haters, will be responsible for the welfare of the returned cats. This should cut down on mess by keeping their stomachs in better order. It could be a bitter pill for some.
For you. That's nice.
If we have got any extra,
it's nice, we'll give some of the cats.
They are part of the park now.
Yeah.
They become a part of your lifestyle. And some of you will accept them as your children. Not everybody.
He won't.
If we can't get rid of them, we'll kind of tolerate them, and now they're cleaned up a bit, they might behave a bit better, now they've been doctored, so let's hope it works.
So often the key to contentment, compromise takes many forms, but few would expect to find it in a slop of lamb chunks in jelly.
Oh, here we go. I've noticed that every time you feed them, they definitely don't make a mess on anybody's garden who's feeding them. So maybe there's a lesson to be learned for us older people.